All right. Hi everyone, it's Shannon. And oh no, I have some kind of a strange light on my screen. Um oh wow, that's pretty light. I might have to just run over and I think we can do it. Let's see. Wow, that's pretty bright, but maybe it'll tone down in just a minute. Hi everyone, it's the 1212 portal and it's so good to be here. I think I'm just going to go shut my screen really quick and I'll be right back. All right. So it looks like for some reason, I'm not sure where the glare is coming from. Hello, it's so good to see you. We're meeting today for the 1212 portal. And it's so funny. I've had such a hard time today. I was just over on Facebook. I had planned to do this live stream today on Facebook, and I could not get it to go live. It's things are a little funny today, but it's good to be here. I wanted to hi. Oh, I'm glad you found me. I was actually just trying to go live over on the Art of the Feminine platform. I That is so bizarre that that light is there. I'm going to see if I can just move one thing. All right. All right. This is the worst start ever. But you know what? I'm going to keep going because I feel like I'm meant to be here, and I wanted to meet today because this is kind of a kickoff into all the energies that are rolling in between now. It's December 12th. It's 12/12, and it's the Gemini full moon. So there's also a lot of energy with the full moon today, and we're just going to continue on. We're going to be having energies with the solstice coming up. It's winter solstice for me, and then we have the Christmas holiday, and which is a really powerful. Well, it aligns with the solstice, but it's really special this year. And then we have New Year's, of course, but we have the annular solar eclipse coming, which is going to be in Capricorn, and then we have, I mean, it's just one thing after another. We're going to have the lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Cancer, where the North Node is. And we have the Pluto and Saturn conjunction on January 12th. So today I wanted to, it's so funny. It's the sun, and I'm not sure how that light is hitting right there. What I'd like to talk about is I really want to talk about what 1212 is all about this year. A lot of people have traveled to take part in special events. It's just we're getting ready to enter a new decade. We're entering the 20s. And they're even looking back into the 20th century. There's a big change in energy when we go from the teens to the 20s. We enter into the twos, the archetype of the twos, which is governed by the moon, and it's governed by fluctuation. And we have and right now on earth we all know that there's a lot of change happening. We're just in a cycle of change. And so today what I want to talk about is what 1212 really means. Oh, it's good to see you. And the archetype of 12, we're going to talk about the hangman, surrender, release, letting go, and reversal. And so let me just check what I was going to say over on Art of the Feminine. Um, before we get started, I have some big things coming in 2020 on this channel. I just want to say this to start that YouTube is implementing a lot of changes as of December 10th. And so I want to ask you, if you enjoy the content that we're putting out here on this channel, I ask you to subscribe. I ask you to hit the bell, leave comments, and continue to communicate with me, because there's a new algorithms taking place. And so we need to have all that kind of activity to keep the channels live and functioning. And so I'm sure we're going to be fine in that department, but I still invite you to subscribe. I have something new coming in the year 2020. It's going to be a new report that I'm doing every month, and there's going to be reports that go along with it. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to roll it out probably in a couple weeks, right before January 1st, but it's something to look forward to and kind of a new energy to bring in. All right, so let's talk about this portal. Oh gosh, there's one other thing I have to say. I have a web because it's a free webinar. I have a free webinar coming up doing the archetypes of 2020. This will be on December 18th or 19th. Please come back for the link in the description box. I'm going to post it after the video. What that is going to be is a really special Zoom webinar. It's of no charge. It's just a way for us to come together, and we're going to talk about the actual archetypes from the divine feminine wisdom that I work with. We're going to talk about what's coming in 2020 based on that wisdom, and it's so incredible to look at. I'm tempted to go into it now, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until we get together. So you can sign up for that via the link that will be on the description here. You can also sign up to at the Akashic Insight newsletter on my website. So let's get started. Oh my gosh, it's the Gemini full moon today. But I thought the 12/12 portal was almost more significant. This has been a crazy start today. So let's talk about 12/12. So 12. This is the energy. I've been in deep reflection over the past several days on this. There's a lot of new energy coming in. I have to say, there's a lot of new energy coming in, and we're just getting ready to turn the page. And so what I want to say about the Gemini full moon today is really power. The theme is really freeing yourself from negativity and negative thoughts. Thought forms. The thought forms are really the negative archontic kind of grip that we have in this world. The world that we're in is governed by energies that are that pull really hard, and they pull through the mind. Gemini is the sign of the mind, and yeah, there's so much pull right, and that's what's happening right now. I'm just going to be honest with there's been a lot going on just in my world in the past like 24 hours. So there's been a few blocks happening, which is fine. It's just the way it works. Sometimes when we're making an advance, and I want to say this really with a lot of love, because it's what we're dealing with right now. But when we are moving into higher states of consciousness, the contraction and the energy that tries to block that, or that just tries to muddle the mind or trigger the emotions, is huge. And I know I work with this when I work with the groups I teach and mentor, and just all of those different platforms that are a little bit more intimate. But when we start to wake up and our consciousness begins to raise, that contractive force will look for any weak link in our personal identity, in our past, in our memory bank, that it can latch onto. This is what Gemini is about, and this is so potent and powerful today. Gemini is the sword of discernment, and it's the Hebrew letter Zayin. It's the ability to cut away, to see through that program and cut it away. Cut away what you don't need. Just let it go. You're letting it fall away from you. There's nothing that we really have to do to fix ourselves. Nothing. Underneath this is what's called the divine image, the original image of the creator and how we were created. But all of these energies and veils have come over us, and those veils have picked up different kinds of habits and patterns and become very humanized in this reality where we are we're living in a dream state, or living in this hologram, and we're walking around kind of just as batteries that are triggered by everything we see. And so there's something I wanted to say about that. Humanity, for the most part, is asleep, even though we're very much appear to be awake. When it's just our desire force that's being pulled here, pulled there, old memories being triggered, relationship wounds, addictions, all the themes that we've talked about for Capricorn, so many, and Cancer, and the sign Cancer. This axis is really hot right now. We don't realize it, but we're in a dream state, and as we start to wake up, you realize more, and you can see through it, and it's like things actually seem more real to us. They actually the our loved ones and our creations and our life gets more. It's what's so weird is that even though it's more filled with space and light, it becomes more solid in a way because it becomes more dense with the divine energy. So form actually becomes very palpable with our divinity, and things get they become more valuable, but from the right perspective. Our perception sees them clearly, and the order in our life starts to change. So this is something really powerful. The Gemini energies are all about this. What we latch onto, this is going to be huge because the world is changing. Technology's come storming in. The financial system is changing. The governments are changing. Borders are changing. Everything is changing. There's no need to panic because what you are already is. It already is this very moment. That sometimes I call it the resurrection, but it already has happened. Now it's just a matter of revealing the revelation of your own truth. And that is more of this is what 1212 is all about. That is more of, oh, it's so great to see you. I had so many tech issues getting on here today. But the 1212 energy, the 12 is surrender and it's reversal. And so on 1212, the true meaning, and to really integrate this so we can blast forward, actually not blast forward, it feels like that right now, but so we can evolve forward into 2020. Understand that the mind's discernment comes more from letting go and reversing our current paradigm, which is so it's so clouded by an imperfect perception that's related to all of those desires within us. It clouds our sexuality. It clouds our relationships. It clouds our ability to have heart-based relationships and wisdom-based relationships. So just going back for a moment, I want to look at 1212 again and see how 12 is coming in. So 12 represents Neptune. So it's the deep subconscious mind and the feminine principle. On 1212 today, what we're being asked to do, I'm going to look at these comments in just a second. What we're being asked to do is to surrender, let go, reverse. And the way we do that, it's a meditative state. It's when you go, the hangman is hanging upside down for a reason. Complete surrender brings in acceptance, and it brings in something called space. The space that already exists, that is of the divine nature, the highest light, becomes active. When we become inactive, the space begins to fill us and it becomes active. 1212 is a double reversal, and it's a true surrender. There's going to be a lot of letting go as we enter 2020, but this is the power of this energy today. I'm just going to see what I know. I wrote down a couple notes. And then I'll look at the comments. Wisdom in Sagittarius is the opposite. Of Sagittarius Gemini axis is really about the mind, wisdom, truth, and justice. So on the Gemini full moon today, we're being asked to make sure your sword, you can wield that sword of discernment. It's up to you to do it. Nobody can do it for you. No, each individual is its own body of consciousness of the cosmos. It's a microcosm of the universe. So you have to start with yourself and wake yourself up, and the veils lift, and the world becomes more beautiful. It's more potent. There's a lot of potency available right now. If you can ride the wave into 2020 in the positive state, you're going to be a beacon of light for all. Okay, I'm just going to take a look. No comment. Hello. Oh yeah, please let me know where you're here from. Hello from Australia. All you're talking about has been on my mind, and also coming up in podcasts I listen to, others writing messages clear. Yeah. Let the dead leave. Let it fall. So let's talk about that for a moment. Sometimes I feel startled by reality. My son is 6, and lately I've woken up like, wow, I'm someone's mother. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Oh, it's nice to see you guys know each other. So let's just take a moment for that. for because there's a lot of startling things and a lot of changes and a lot of noise out there. So let's just take a moment. The surrender is the state it's pure wealth. You give it to yourself. Every time you do it, you dip into the gold. And the hangman, his head is lit up. He's upside down. It's because the solar light of the subconscious is being activated. That's the true power of the Christic light. And that is within our consciousness. It's not, we think of within our body. Our body is kind of the veil around the consciousness, but our consciousness is its own body. When you go into meditation, you're going into your consciousness. It's like a sphere, and you go into it, and you go into the depths of it. You go into the depths beyond the chaos and into the depths, and there you're greeted by the eternal divine feminine, the divine mother, who will gift you with many things, with space, with the truth. And for those of you who are mothers and have young children right now, you just have to know the power that they have come to this earth at this time for a reason. No need to have fear. Relish the beauty of motherhood, of being a mother right now. The North Node is in Cancer. I just relish every moment with my son because it's such it's a beautiful relationship to have, and it goes very quickly. It just passes. We're all passing through form, and it only lasts for a brief moment in time. So really enjoy it, and know that you're in the light. True, we're in the light. That's the shift we need to have. We're in the light, regardless of how things appear. I'm going to be talking a lot more about these things in the next. There's going to be a lot of videos before the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. All right, let's just take a breath. And Mem is the Hebrew letter for Neptune and the Hangman. It's the underworld. It's the waters that we exist in. The negative thought forms attack in this realm. The what we know as the archons. It's in all our mythology. It's in all the movies. Even all mainstream entertainment combines beauty with subconscious programming. That's 12 as well, because when we're not awake and we go into the subconscious, we're just purely programmed. That is what a lot of entertainment does. It takes something really beautiful that opens our heart, and then it plugs us with a lower message. You see it all the time. So that's something to be aware. Oh, Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm here in Pennsylvania today too. Nice to see you here. So yeah, just know that it's a double-edged message that's being beamed through a lot of entertainment. It opens you with something very beautiful, but just notice this. I'm noticing it more and more. And I have to tell you, I want to share this. Last night, before I fell asleep, I was doing a lot of work, as I often do, writing and meditating and just going through various journals and putting things together. And somehow I ended up on YouTube, which is not uncommon. But I ended up watching some things. I wanted to check in on some things on YouTube. And some of it was really mainstream entertainment, big stuff. And so I watched a couple of videos. I'm trying to think of what I watched. I'm not going to say it here, but I watched a few videos, all very mainstream, one very big music entertainment. And I was in such a heightened state when I went on those. And I knew I was in a heightened state. And I was like, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? I knew for some reason I was being asked to go in. So I went in and I just gave myself to it for about 10, 15 minutes. And by the time I shut my computer, I could not believe how my frequency had dropped. And I say that without any fear. It's just a reality. It's like, I've told this story a lot on this channel about the guy I met that had one of the highest IQs in the world. He was very young. He was on his way to, he was going to Columbia University on a bus, and we rode together. He was going to a mathematics conference, and he told me, he was very young. I think he was 19. He told me when he needed to lower his IQ, so that he could fit in with his friends, he said he would watch reality TV, and there was a couple other things. He said, there's certain things I'll go to, and after I watch it, I come down about, and he told me how many points. He was still a genius, but he said that literally he knew that it would drop. Well, I had that experience last night. So it's something to be aware of. It's something to just be aware of, especially with our kids, just without any fear. I believe, for my work, it's good to stay in touch with what's going on in the mainstream. And I actually, as an artist, I love entertainment. I love music. I love theater. I love film, all of it. And I even like to watch the comedy shows and things like that, but just be aware of it. Use the sword of discernment and limit it, and make sure that you give yourself, for all the time you give to that, to being normal and just being in mainstream, what the message is, make sure that you give yourself as much time holding the frequency and knowing that it's there. It's really important right now. These are huge things. So let's just talk about some of the things coming. Um, We exist in the underworld. We are the subject of the lower thought forms. It's the thought forms are really the attack when we talk about entities, or it's, they come through the mind that was created in this world, and it runs kind of amok and it rules here. It actually it rules here because it's at home in this frequency. So we're the ones that have to pull up. I'm just going to take a look at this. Exactly. I know we don't realize how programmed we are, but every little beep and sound. My son's been, this is a whole other topic, that he listens to a lot of rap music. And so I think I'm the only suburban mother at this point that, we drive a lot for his tennis tournaments. And oftentimes I'll find I'm listening to a rap playlist. I know all the songs. I know all the rappers. There's a lot. Anyway, my son was playing a rap song, and I want to speak to that as well. The rap song had texting going off, and so every time a text button went off in the car, I was trying to find my phone. I was like, I wasn't taking my eyes off the road, but I was like, I thought it made my whole body react to it, and it was in the music for a reason. Now, what I want to say about the music is that when he started listening to rap, he's 14. So a few years ago, he's probably 10 or 11. At first I was like, well, it's not, and this isn't to make any kind of statement. It's just that he was quite young, and the lyrics are quite intense. There's a lot of violence, a lot of sex, a lot of abuse, a lot of drugs, a lot of addiction, a lot of death. There's all of that. And we have that in all entertainment. But I was like, okay, what to do here as a mother, and especially being what I do. And I was like, I think I need to let him. He's very musical and very creative. And I was like, I need to kind of look over it, but to let him express himself. He was born into this time and this culture. And I watch these Gen Z kids. They need to be exposed to what they've been born into, because they're the transformers of it. And so anyway, the long story short is that we listen to it, and actually I have some pretty good playlists, but he sees it, he can see it pretty crystal clear. It's still, we talk a lot about how it can change your frequency. There's a lot of sadness that comes through in all platforms, but specifically there's a lot of death that happens, a lot of violence. And so we talk about it and use it as a way to not judge, but to enjoy creativity, but also to be aware of vibration and frequency, because frequency and vibration right now determine where you will be in the sea of events that we have coming. I can't remember what time I started, because we got off to kind of a funny start. So we read so we can go into other worlds. Be careful what you read. Yeah. Yes, it's true. Same for music and movies. And I agree. And so, yeah, there's so much on that. We're going to be talking more about entertainment because it's coming in pretty big time. But yeah, the one thing this is just me personally, but I have found with the kids is that we have to kind of allow them to be here. We can't punish them and condemn everything, because they were born into this time for a reason. They're meant to be exposed. If we shelter them from everything, it was the same with technology, because my son was born into a lot of technology. They're meant to have an understanding of it. So we just got to keep, he was also born with a lot of chanting and a lot of high vibrational language. And so he knows that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm just reading it, to hold conscious nurturing. I like that word. That's really beautiful. Conscious nurturing. Yeah, we have to allow them. There's a powerful I think he's a psychologist. His name is Gordon Neufeld, and I've read all his books and used them. But he has a book called hold on to your kids. And he's a brilliant psychology around being the North Star of your children, allowing your children to, rather than fighting against them and being such a disciplinarian, set the example, be strong, don't let them think they can take you out with the things that they're going through, but also create such a strong relationship that they look to you. And you can do that by, there's a thing he has called the invitation to being. You allow them in their heart to follow their path. And if they're attracted to this kind of music or this kind of film or whatever, let them go, but teach them in the appropriate times. And so you're not making a divide. And this is, the world could really use this because we see so much divisiveness. And rather than creating a divide, create a bond and make it an opportunity to talk and teach and learn while not tearing them down for what they enjoy and what they love. There's so much more we could say on that. And I think I'm going to talk about, yeah, the video games were big too. He started in video games and they just fell away for him. And I watched it, they fell away. So, but they can be a problem. I think that it's more, this is going into 2020, when kids feel such a gap and a heartbreak from their parents, they tend to medicate more. So if the home is strong, and the North Node is in Cancer, if the home is strong, and if we create nurturing in the home, the holiday season is such a powerful time to do that. Eat together, share ideas with each other, bring your kids into your world. Don't make sure you're not separating too much and compartmentalizing. Make them feel the hearth fire. That's the feminine. Feel the hearth fire so they feel that they have a nucleus to support them. And that way, when they go into the world, they're not looking to medicate so much. I find that to be quite true in many things I've seen. So let me just see where we want to go as we start to, I'm so excited for 2020. So make sure, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe. It will help the algorithm on YouTube. Hit the bell, leave comments. The bell gives you notifications, but I have a new report. I'm not going to announce the name yet, coming in 2020, and we're going to have a lot of fun. There's going to be so much to talk about. So I'm just going to see if there's any questions. We have to put whatever, garbage in, garbage out. But let me just see. We can't hide in a cave. This is not the era for hiding either. I know this because I have a long history of being someone who was inward and working in the more it's a long explanation, but being a little more inward now. And this is the era of being in the world. We're, as the feminine, we're being we're householders, we're partners, we're business owners, we're community heads, we're interacting with each other. So we don't want to alienate and start a war. Huge. I just want to say, listen to the Pluto-Saturn conjunction video. We don't want to start a war. A lot of the programming on the planet right now is starting wars. It's trying to break down the community of people so that the darker force wants to just come in and take over. And that's the truth. So don't think in terms of what you're going to let go in your own being, but rather than thinking of fighting those people that you disagree with, think of building the new. It's very powerful right now. The old is going to start to fall, but that thing that falls is going to be looking for something new to be a part of. There's a lot we can say about that. Have I heard of the sixth sun? The sixth sun, I have heard of that. And right now it's not coming to me. I'm sure I have it somewhere in my mental file, but I'll look into it and see if I know a lot about it. I'll bring it on next time. Those who are stuck and still in isolation, a lot of people are in isolation. I've gone through isolation myself because of deep, deep clearing. Try not to get lost in isolation right now. It's not the healthiest place to be. Process, but even if it's just getting out for a walk, going to a movie, taking yourself out to eat, calling a friend, really, really doing something special with a loved one, like a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a partner, even an animal, a child, a friend, a neighbor you don't know. This is the time to reach out, open something new in your heart just by doing something you've never done before. It will open new pathways for 2020. So I feel like there was more I was going to say, but I think it's probably good to shut this one down. Um, Mexican spiritual traditions say that we are moving into the age of the sixth sense. Yeah, yeah, and I know about that. So I'm going to look into it and see if it corresponds to, and if I should bring it in any future videos. So I'm just going to take a moment. Just want to remind you guys. So I have that free webinar coming up where we're going to look at the archetypes of 2020. You can sign up the link that I'm going to come back and leave in the. That's going to be fun though. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you can't make the time that we're doing it, if you sign up, I'll send you the link after we record it. It's going to take place on, I think it's going to be on December 19th, around 3 p.m. Eastern. So remember, let's just recap. Break free from negative thought forms. Just let them go. Create new ones. At all costs, if you're dealing with emotional trauma, Neptune speaks a lot to that, but surrender it and find the message in what you're meant to integrate. And then the best you can, let go of the triggers that keep cycling you through the wheel. This is about coming off the zodiac. We're ascending into a new level. The zodiac, just from the perspective of this, and then we'll close out. The zodiac governs the lower worlds. So the zodiac that we look at, I love the zodiac, and I work with it because of the archetypal correspondences, and it's the great work, the alchemy of transmuting this energy. But the dark thought forms work through it as well. And so it can be a trap, and it's the wheel. When we do not do our transmutations and we just keep going around the world, and we keep incarnating. What we want to do is go through the sun now. It's time to that the sixth sun. I'll tell you some correspondences right now is that six corresponds to the sixth Sephiroth, which is Tiferet, which is the sun, and it's the portal beyond this consciousness. Six also corresponds to Venus, and we know that Venus and the sun work very, very powerfully together. So just having the archetype of the sun and six together let us know that it's going to have to do with the heart and Venus and opening a new portal, which is everything that we talk about here. So hello from Sweden. All right, I'll just take a moment and see if there's any more questions that come in. Just want to let you know that in 2020, I'm doing Light Body Woman 2020, starting in January 15th. We're just finishing up Light Body Woman that I ran the fall quarter, and it was really, really beautiful. And I just so enjoy doing, it's an 8-week mentoring course. So if you're interested in that, I will also leave a link to that on in the description box, or you can contact me through Art of the Feminine. Come find me on Art of the Feminine Facebook page or Art of the Feminine Instagram. Those are two other places. I know sometimes people are looking for my social media. It's not the same name. It's under Art of the Feminine. That being said, let's just take a blessing for 2020 at this 1212 portal. Just taking a moment, and the energies feel like they're shifting, even just in my own field right now. I am before me. I am behind me. I am at my left. I am at my right. I am above me. I am below me. I am unto me. And then you take a big, deep breath in and hold your breath just for a moment. Create some prana right under your solar plexus. And then as you exhale, saying, I am, I know I am, I am, I am, I know I am. Speaking of six and the sun, I am vibrates to the number 6, and it opens up that portal of the sun. I am is a powerful, powerful, powerful. We do that. I've been doing it at Art of the Feminine for years to activate the field, just to amplify and boost our electric magnetic field. So it's really, really beautiful. You can do that at any time. It's before me, behind me, to my left, to my right, above me, below me, and unto me. And so I will, when the clock strikes 12 on December, well, we'll talk about, I have a few videos coming up before then. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. She just said, I'm very much feeling like, oh, nice to see you. Like I'm in the void today. There's no wrong. I just want to be really clear. It's not wrong to go into the void. It's not even wrong to check out for a week or a month or so when you need to. But just know that you don't want to, you don't want to get lost. You don't want to, because isolation is a tool of the dark. When we isolate people and separate people, it's hard to hold the frequency high unless you're, a profound avatar sage, and you can keep that. You can stay. You can keep that. I just lost the word, and that's okay. You can be immersed in that consciousness, but right now reaching out to others is incredibly powerful. It's a time, it's the age of Aquarius. We're going to do a video about the age of Aquarius coming up. Nice to see you from Egypt. We'll do a video about the age of Aquarius soon. And that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, it helps it. Please subscribe for future live streams and a new report that I have coming in January 2020. Until next time, namaste. Many, many blessings, and I'll look for you soon.